breaking news from D.C. BARRON victim of terror attack. Americans don't like to talk about terror. It seems that a lot of the most vocal members of this great nation would like to pretend that microaggressions are the worst things we will have to deal with in our lifetimes. They want you to think that the entire United States military is blowing this whole terrorist thing out of proportion. It's hard to say which are ascribing to this line of reasoning because they are unable to handle the truth that they're a hit out on all Americans and who is pushing this theory because they can gain from it politically. But either way, there's a huge push for you to believe that Islam is really not harmful, and when you do hear about terrorism, it's just not as bad as the president is making it out to be. That load of propaganda is blown completely out of the water every time ISIS makes another attack or puts out a hit on someone, and we reminded of exactly what we up against. PJ Media reports that the most recent target is first son, Barron Trump. ISIS supporters circulated a gruesome Christmas-time poster depicting the beheading of Barron Trump, showing a masked jihadist standing over an adult body in an orange jumpsuit with the 11-year-old head photoshopped into the terrorist hand. PJM is not reproducing an image of the poster here because of the disturbing content. It's similar to an image released last month depicting a beheaded Pope Francis. "Soon we will cut the head of America, Mule son," says the text on the Barron image. A message posted last month on a pro-ISIS Telegram channel by an ISIS supporter called on fellow followers to handle the son of the Mule of America and included a photo of the president's son and a snapshot of a Google map showing the location of Barron School. It speaks to just how brutal and cowardly terrorists are that despite the president having 5 children, 4 of whom are adults, they choose to attack his youngest and weakest child to simulate a beheading. It a tribute to their obsession with hurting the innocent that they go after the son of someone that they disagree with, ignoring the fact that he's not even old enough to have formed an opinion on his dad's political policies. This revelation of their intentions comes just days after the president has been cracking down on all things ISIS. He first supported Jerusalem being given to our ally, Israel, and then cut funding to UN nations who didn't support it. Then, on Monday, he declared that he wouldn't be sending any more aid to Pakistan, because of their known terror ties. In case you're wondering whether that response is actually warranted, here an overview of some of the recent threats made by ISIS. ISIS supporters have been on a holiday threat spree, taking the terror group PR into their own hands with a flurry of propaganda posters encouraging lone jihadists to attack, including a new one reiterating previous calls to terror in their hearts by running them over or stabbing them or burning structures and forests. A Modesto, Calif, tow truck driver arrested and charged last week with hatching a holiday plot to attack San Francisco Pier 39 apparently paid attention to ISIS supporters' propaganda posters. Everett Aaron Jameson loved with a heart, said the criminal complaint. A recent poster from ISIS supporters showing Santa overlooking Times Square with a box of dynamite at his side. Another poster from ISIS supporters circulated this week shows an armed jihadist overlooking a Christmas display as the Statue of Liberty looms overhead. Your motto will not survive if the cross worshippers survived, jihadists were advised. Last week, ISIS supporters encouraged lone jihadists to try methods such as making a terrorist attack look like a random murder or cooking up poisons to use on victims in a new suggestion list. The list suggests attacking an isolated victim and make it look like a homicide SP. This method was mentioned in the October 2016 issue of ISIS Rumia magazine focusing on knife attacks, when terrorists were advised to target someone walking home from a night out or working the night shift, or someone walking alone in a public park or rural forested area, or someone by himself in an alley close to a nightclub or another place of debauchery, or even someone out for a walk in a quiet neighborhood. The INS list, posted on Telegram, shows the Eiffel Tower and Big Ben in the background, with blood dripping from the top of the image. It was distributed in Arabic, French, and English, with the English translation not clean. Lone jihadists were urged to have auto immersion SP in the community, while choosing easy targets to deal with in an operation that must be secret and unseen. President Trump is hitting terrorists where it hurts, and they lashing out against his child, plain and simple. Despite these brutal would-be attacks, the president is poised to address the nation, once again, on the issue of terrorism, and it reported that he has no plans to back down. He will be weighing in on the Iranian protests, and if history is any indication, he won't be mincing words. Their plans of attack are ever growing and changing, and we have to change with it. Terrorism only works if you back down when terrorized. And President Trump has proven that he won't be doing that, not just because it makes a statement, but because it's the only thing that works. If we want the killing to stop, we have to stop funding the killing, even if they threaten to bring it to our back door. It's time we see Islam as the true enemy that it is and allow ourselves to be protected from it before these threats have time to come to fruition.